Hey everybody, happy Sunday. This is Mecca
And Ryan.
and welcome back to the Coffee Comment. Today our topic is going to be what I call don't tell me what you haven't achieved or achieved yet.
Either way.
And this topic it hits close home to me and I'm pretty sure everybody else. It's basically us talking about we usually get in relationships. Everybody has been in a relationship that either the family or the friends don't approve of or don't like after you've opened your poured your heart out to them and you tried to vent to them and instead of them giving advice that could be helpful or not necessarily make you feel better, because I feel like your friends and family have to be real with you, but instead of them giving you advice to be kind of sensitive to your feelings, they go off of advice that they want to give because they don't like the person or they don't like what they've done to you and they're in full protective mode, so they don't try to be sensitive to your feelings. And a lot of the times they give advice that I feel like they shouldn't be given because you're not in a successful relationship. You're not in a current relationship. The last time you was in a relationship was, I don't know how long ago.
1975.
Not 1975, but the last time you were in a successful relationship, or if you were in a successful relationship, you wouldn't be single right now, or you wouldn't be just as quote unquote miserable as you feel like I am right now. So I feel like this was a great topic to talk about.
I think so too, because I've encountered it. Family and friends, they always got their 2 cents trying to tell me how I should go about getting that successful relationship, or how do I go about finding how I should conduct myself to find that man. And no shade towards Steve Harvey and all these other people.
My aunt don't like him.
And all these other people making these books and stuff like that. This is just me. I don't like those relationship books. I've read them. And it's just, to me, it's like, it really does depend on the person. Those books, I don't know.
I feel like with those books, it's only part of the work. It's not all the end be all. I'ma follow this. It's not the Bible.
And that's how people treat it.
And that's how people treat it. And why I said my aunt don't like it is because she made a good point. Because before, I'm not going to lie, me being young and still trying to find a way, even though I was in a relationship when Think Like a Man came out, I love that movie. Like, I got that movie and my ex wasn't getting it right. And so I thought if I follow some of these steps and demand what I want instead of assuming, because that's what, let's be funky, that's what a lot of us women do. We assume that our partner is just supposed to know. And everybody, back to daddy complex and growing up and stuff like that, everybody don't know how to love, so we just assume like, oh, he or she gonna get it right and they automatically know. No, not everybody know. So I'm thinking I could follow these rules, but my aunt made a good point. He wrote how many relationship books? This man has been married 3 or 4 times. So how in the hell can you give somebody relationship advice when you can't even get your life right? You've been married multiple times. When you get married, it's supposed to be one, that's it, unless it's like a widow situation, and the person passed away. But you can't sit here and give me relationship advice when you have not had a successful relationship that lasted.
That's how I feel about people, not as far as Steve Harvey goes. I just don't, to me, Steve Harvey is just putting his hand in a lot of business. I'm not saying that some of the things that he said isn't true, because he is speaking from a male's perspective. And it does give us women, insight on the psyche of a man. So that portion is right. But like we both said, some people like this gospel. Whatever Steve Harvey said in that book, that's how I'm going to do. And that's what I get off, because I love my sister to death, but she's one of those people that will quote something from a book or something like that. And I'm sitting there looking and I'm like, dude.
It's like pushing your religion or your eating lifestyle or whatever on other people religiously. And like I said, I would, I'm still young, but I would still read something to get some type of guidance. Like she said, everything that, whoever, what author is saying doesn't mean that it's, some things are correct, but it is not the Bible.
Right.
I want to read Megan's Good, The Wait. Celibacy is not for everybody, but really that book is not, she even said that book is not for everybody to take and make it a Bible. It's her story, her husband's story, and their journey together. And people who are thinking about it but are ashamed to talk about it, it's a book for them to get insight on maybe how to start their journey on celibacy, or how to start their journey, not necessarily on celibacy, but giving away something that was a bad habit to gain something that's good. I mean, and if you believe in Buddhism or the universe or God, it's all written in their Bibles and their stories as well. Giving up sex or giving up alcohol, giving up any bad habit to gain, a better habit, or a better clarity or lifestyle, whether it be your job, a better relationship, whatever, just so you can get good out of that situation.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of, it's always your good friends, quote unquote, good friends that always got this said advice, like, yes, you need to do this is how you need to present yourself, or this is how your life should be. And like we both said, we looking at them like, okay, your last relationship was when you were in high school, okay, and you 30 something right now, okay, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Only people that I feel like can give me some insight is like either married couples that's been married for like 40, 50 some years, and older people that have the wisdom. So I'll listen a lot to them, but I'm not going to listen too tough to like some 20-year-old, 23, something like that, trying to tell me, well, this is how it's supposed to be. Excuse me? I'm not saying that you don't have wisdom or experience and whatnot, but just my preference, I don't see how you're giving me any form of guidance. And I just always find it funny when people chime in on your relationship and then they try to tell you how, I love how when people try to tell you about your mate, it's like, yes, I have times where I have vent moments and I talk about
and
situations.
That's the thing.
But then your vent turns into that person thinking they know the person like 100%. No, you don't. You just catch me on one of them days where
exactly.
But
that's what I want people to understand. When somebody comes to you, they come to you because they know they feel like y'all have that relationship of no judgment zone. They feel like they have that relationship with you where it's, I'm venting to you because I'm hurt or I'm sad or whatever. It's not necessarily an open door for you to bash this person. I talk to my cousin a lot. Now, we are the same age because my aunt told me before, she was like, she gave me advice about my sister and my younger cousin, and she's like, they might need your advice a little bit more because you passed 18, you passed 20. It might not be super right all the time, but they need yours because them trying to talk to each other, no shade, but it's like Dumb and Dumber. Like, two 17-year-olds can't help each other's situation because their mental status is the same. And like me and my cousin, we are the same age. But, she's been through a similar situation. So I do go to her and I'll talk to her because she's dealing with it almost the same way as I did. And she might deal with it a little different. But as far as listening to people, I started to realize that, yes, I'm not trying to be shameful, but I'm trying to be honest. Yes, listening to my mother always is going to be great advice and is going to be a good ear because my mom has learned how to also work with me. As I tell her stuff, she's learned how to work with me and not be so shady. I learned that a lot of people that give you advice is not really advice, it's their opinion. And when people get mad and lash out, yes, they're going to be in mommy mode, sister mode, best friend mode, close friend mode, auntie mode. But they see themselves and they see their situation. They don't see that it's you and you're going through maybe it's a whole different situation. Maybe it's the same situation. But I learned from my past relationships, trying to give somebody else relationships advice, I can't. Depending on what the situation is. Right now, in this stage, I don't feel like I can ever give anybody no situation because I thought my fucking relationship was the best and now I don't have one. So I feel like I can't give relationship. for certain things.
Right, I was just about to
for
say
certain
that.
things.
Certain things
Isn't I can't give before I used to give all of my friends relationship, and that's because I'm not trying to be funny, but everybody that me and my ex knew and grew up with basically throughout college, they soon as they said, oh, they broke up, it's like Jay-Z and Beyonce. Honestly, like we met young, we were everybody's idols, like everybody started getting together, everybody would come to us for advice, and it's like I feel like I can't do that anymore, because if my relationship was that successful, my ass would still be in a relationship. So I just feel like sometimes you have to be careful who you ask, who you tell certain things to, who you ask, and you take bits and pieces and use it to your discretion.
That's true. That's very true. I've been in I like my sister yet again. She'll say things to me, and it really kind of ticks me off. Like I said before, those jump in and try to tell you about your mate, and you don't know much about them, so how are you gonna put your 2 cents in on them? Now, I don't mind if you give your opinion, because sometimes your opinion, because the outsider that's looking in. They have their vision is a little bit more open than yours. So sometimes I'll take in the opinion, and then it has me sitting back looking back at myself. But then there's a lot of times where people are just talking just to hear themselves talk, or because they done watch, like I said, they done watch some kind of relationship deal, or they and I'm not trying to bash any Bible beaters. I'm not. I love Jesus. I got him on the main line. But they, they want to pull out the Bible too, and they want to give you a scripture and everything like that. And I'm sitting back and I'm like, do you follow what's in the Bible?
Because I read it. I sat down and actually read some scriptures and stuff, and I said, damn. Everybody is breaking the Bible, the law of the Bible, the rules, whatever you want to call it. Everybody is breaking the Bible, whatever the Bible's saying. So you can't sit here and judge somebody else on what they doing or how they going about things.
And that's a whole nother topic if we talk about people and the Bible and how you should live your life accordingly, because, like she said, everybody living in that nice little cesspool of sin. But like I said, they always got a book. They want to pull out the Bible. They want to pull out these relationship books. They want to tell you, well, X, Y, and Z, sounding like a damn manual. You don't know nothing. I'm sorry, you don't know nothing unless you have, like I said, you've been in a marriage for 40, 50-something years. You know the game. So you can give me advice. I can't take advice from somebody who's been in a relationship for 6 months. Hell, I can't even take advice from somebody who's been in a relationship for a year. Be in there longevity, and then maybe you can, if I come to you and present to you what's going on in my relationship, and then you give me some advice. But you got to have some longevity within your relationship. Don't if I'm talking to you, even if we're just having a casual conversation about relationships, and you only get that nice little honeymoon stage, and you talk about, well, you should do this, and this is how I got Bobby, and me and Bobby do this, and when I got Bobby, it was just like, I just prayed on it, I made a list, and boom, Bobby showed up, and you gotta clean yourself up, you gotta do this and do that, and I'm sitting back, I'm like, bitch, before you met Bobby, you was a thought on the corner. I'm like, you slipped up on Bobby. That was just a slip up. You weren't even supposed to get Bobby. And I'm like, and when how you got Bobby is, I'm not going to, you got your name a thought. So that's how you got Bobby. I'm glad that things are better with you and Bobby, but don't sit up here and try to tell me how you were just Miss None.
Right.
And all that stuff.
It's nothing with turning your life about, but that's why I said certain things come into play with, the whole weight thing and the sacrificing thing. Like, once again, shout out to Sister Celibacy. I love her YouTube channel because she talks about how she did live that thought life, that wild life, always had a sex buddy on speed dial, always, didn't care really about, being too long in a relationship because she had the dude mentality. But now it's like she's celibate because she knows she want better. And she knows that even not, how how am I trying to say it? She knows that if she keeps on going on the path that she was on, that she's not really going to find a husband at the end of it, because all of that thought life and single this and single that is only good for so long. I mean, even the meanest asshole wants somebody to share just a moment with. So, like, you know, and when you are giving your advice, and I said advice, not opinion, when you're giving your advice, like I said, try to be somewhat sensitive to the person's feelings. Try to listen. A lot of times we talk without listening. We just talk to reply.
Right.
Like Ryan said, just to hear us talk and make it seem like, oh, she just know it all, when you saying a whole bunch of nothing.
Right. Right.
You got to go into it with open ears and an open mind. Some people, I don't know. I feel like misery loves company too.
Yeah, those are those people too that give you advice because they ain't got nobody. So they're like, I miss my friend, because we used to be, before, you know, your friend got into the relationship, it was just you and her hanging tough. And then she found her person, and then the one time that your friend is having an issue with that man, either that friend is like, oh, you need to drop him, because I would take that. He wouldn't say that to me. He wouldn't do that to me. And I must admit, I've been that friend that's been like, oh, girl, But then you never know what you'll take until you get in that situation.
Never know what you would take, what you would do, what you would say, how you gonna act.
Right. But that one friend, like I said, that misery loves company, she's like, ooh, I could get my friend back. This is a window of opportunity. Let me jump through it. Hello. And so she'll start saying some stuff like, oh, you need to drop him or take some space from him.
That's where you'll find who your real friends are. And that's why I say be careful who you share bits and pieces. You can go in it with, you know, eventually, I don't give a damn, because that was my thing. Eventually, I don't even care who find out if we make up, who find out if we talk, who find out if this is who I went on a date with. But at the same time, you got to be cautious about who you say certain things to. Because sometimes it becomes lonely. When you done exhausted all your options, and you done told every single person, from family members to friends, and then when shit really gets real and you get lonely, you don't know who to talk to, because these 4 people got an opinion of that person, and they mad at that person. They probably mad at you, but they're not going to tell you I told you so. And then these 4 people is tired of hearing you cry wolf. And then these 4 people, it's like you exhausted all your options. You become lonely because you have nobody to talk to. Be selective who you tell certain things to. That can help the situation as well, of being sick of hearing unsolicited advice.
Right.
I was watching the Braxtons. Trina is trying to get closure from Gabe. Wow. Out of 5, what is 5 of them? Yeah. She only go to one sister, because the rest of them just gonna pop off. Why? Because they ain't protective. She talked to Tawanda. Why? Because the rest of them is in automatic pop off mode. But like we just said, you act like you never been there before, and you never know until you get in that situation. Tawanda is the most, level-headed and reasonable one, like myself. Why? Because we Virgos got the same birthday. Shout out to Tawanda. But
I'm mad at that.
You always want to hear, if not both sides, you always want to be optimistic about certain situations. And she's told her sister plenty of time, I'm not trying to get back for him. I just need it for me. I need to stop waking up still having questions. Even though I moved on, we never closed. I never got that closure for myself. And she understands that. But she told her sisters that, and they ready to pop off. You better not get back with him. He better not be trying to get back with you. For why? What y'all need to talk for is not for you to know. It's for me to know, me to figure out, and me to wash my hands with it.
I mean, that's true. But also, you gotta remember, you're telling your sisters, and that's another thing when you want to have.
But what's the first thing people talk about when it's a domestic violence situation or it's a cheating situation? They go woman to woman. Sometimes you gotta put that mommy, sister, best friend, cousin. You gotta put that aside. Sometimes
that's never gonna happen. Sisters,
no, it's never gonna happen. But you have to think. But why? Because when shit happens, God forbid, something happened with Tamar. Right now, is stuff out in the blog saying that her and Vince is about to divorce. When it's them, they want you to sit there and sympathize. When it's them, they want you to understand. But when it's them when it's just you, everything is, I ain't gonna take it. He shouldn't have did that. Blah 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 blah. Like, it has to be a respect. It has to be. So you gotta know when to shut up. Sometimes you gotta know when to listen. You gotta learn when to be supportive. Everything is not all about only you. You gotta learn how to reciprocate things. You can't make everything about you all the time. Sometimes everything is not about you. Sometimes, like, I don't like, that's one thing that irritates me about the whole talking about your relationships things. You can't sit here and not understand when it comes to me, but when it's you, everybody got to be understanding. Everybody got to be your listening ear. Everybody got to be your shoulder to cry on. Sometimes you just have to be able to give what you want, because you never know what kind of situation you gonna end up in.
That is true.
Period. You never know. You never know. People do stupid shit for love. People say stupid things. So you can't be on somebody's back constantly, but then when it turn around and happen to you, or 10 times worse, or, you know, even though the thing that you might think is the biggest thing to you and is little to everybody else, you don't want nobody to disregard your feelings. So you can't do that to other people. Sister mode, cousin mode, best friend mode, whatever. At the end of the day, you still have to listen and be there for them the way that you want them to be there for you.
That's true. I'm a sister. And I got my older sister and a younger brother. I'm sorry. I am definitely that sibling that if my brother told me, either current wife, ex-wife, they popping off, I'm sorry. I'm the type that, okay, I'm about to draw somebody. Just because that's my baby brother, and I don't care. What, she hurt your feelings? Or what she say? Okay, let's go. Give me the green light. Can I knock her teeth out? Okay. And then when it comes to my sister, same way. I'm like, because her current boyfriend that she's with, he was sitting there with us with dinner, and he was just talking, yada. And I said, he thought I was playing. I was like, don't hurt my sister. And he's like, well, I said, no, don't do it. Don't do it, because I'm not right in the head. I said, I'll smash your head into the wall. I'm not a violent person. It's just that I'm very overprotective.
Very violent.
I'm just that type of sister. I love my older sister because she's, you know, even though sometimes she gives some unsolicited advice or something that don't make sense or from one of them books, but I still love her. And that's just the kind of sibling that I am. But I do agree with you. You have to be very selective on the person that you do choose to open up that much to, as far as your relationship, or hell, anything that's going on in your life. But as far as your relationship goes, you should be very selective, because there are people that we said, like the misery love company person, the person who ain't been in a relationship in several years, but got all this advice, and it's
the person that's still hurt and
did not say it's going to be it's going to come from a bitter side, or it's just coming from one of them daggone relationship books. And not that I'm bashing relationship books, because like I said, I've, you know, purchased some and read them, and some of it does make sense. So I'm not bashing relationship books. They make sense. But be very selective on the people that you sit down and have these. And then you also have to be mindful of the people who are trying to slip into the relationship, as far as trying to sneak up on your partner. There's some sneaky, you know, sheep out there in wolf clothing. There's some shady people out there. So you just got to be really selective on the people that you divulge your relationship information to, because there is just some people who are trying to just do it just to be mean, just trying to, like I said, have that one friend that just wants you to themselves. Just be very selective in how you know, the people that you talk to, so that you ain't got to worry about much of those issues. And don't have everybody in your damn business, too.
Oh, yeah. I learned that. I'm approaching 25, and 24 has taught me to shut my mother mouth, okay? You won't even find out these days, really, unless you're super, super close. And sometimes you can't hold excitement in, but you won't even find out what I'm doing career-wise if it's not this podcast or this blog, because I am learning to shut my mouth. You cannot trust everybody, like Ryan just said.
Talk to your grandmama. Grandmamas know everything. They've been on this planet for 1,000 years.
Yeah, they know everything. Sometimes I don't even talk to my grandma about that stuff because I don't be wanting her to be like worried. But grandma know, because she'll just randomly text me like, praying for you, such and such and such. I love you.
You be sitting there like,
I'm like, dang, she right on time, just like Jesus.
Right. That's what I said. That's probably your best bet is to talk to grandma. Grandma be knowing. You'll be like, Grandma, I got this. And she'll be like, oh, yeah, I had a situation like that back in 1955. She'll have a long, drawn-out story. But the moral to it, you'll be sitting back. You'll have you sitting there thinking, because you got to block out all the extras that she told you. But if you sit back and think about it, you'll be like, okay. Grandma that's what she was talking about. I understand what she's talking about. But there's nothing wrong with, I don't want people to think we're sitting here bashing friends or siblings or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with taking advice or listening to an outsider, close outsider. Because, like I said, you're in the relationship, so you don't see everything, and they do. So
exactly. That's not what we're saying. Like, just totally disregard it. Like we said, there are some outside looking in situations, but be mindful of, one, who you tell it to, and two, who is giving it to you. Who's giving you the tea? And look at their situation.
Yeah. That's definitely, that'll definitely break it down who you should talk to. Just look at their relationship and you're like, I don't think I should be divulging my relationship to you because yours is hanging on by a thread, and you gonna tell me how I should go about and how I should conduct myself or how much of a lady I should be. Next.
Right.
But
so that was a lot.
Right.
But if anybody have any comments, any opinions, any questions or whatever, just leave it on our Instagram, our Facebook. What else we got? YouTube.
Right, you can hear us on YouTube. We
Spreaker.
And it's on Instagram, the coffee comment.
Yep.
And and we got one more part of this relationship series, and I think we're gonna make this one kind of fun. I don't know. We got to make this one kind of fun.
Yeah.
The final hoorah has to be something fun, funny. I don't know. We may have some people come in that could lend their comedic advice in on our relationship series. But I do want to say I do appreciate the people that have been listening.
Yes, guys, thank you.
And also some of the newbies that have come and started listening to us and also started following us on Instagram. Spread the word. I mean,
we appreciate it, because when I first thought about this and then put it into play, we didn't know who the heck was going to be listening. We thought it was going to be like 2 people a week.
Like family members.
Just family members a week. But we realized that we have a lot of support and a lot of people that's excited to listen every single Sunday. I really want to thank you guys. We want to thank you guys. Thank you.
We do. We really, really, really thank you.
And you will find out our topic midweek as per usual on Instagram.
Yes, so if you're not following us, you need to follow us. Like I said, the coffee comment, follow Glitter Coffee and Things.
Glitter Coffee and Things blog, Glitter Coffee and Things Facebook. You can go on YouTube and type in the coffee comment, and some episodes will pop up, but all episodes are on the blog and on Spreaker, right here on Spreaker.com. You will hear all of it. So, thank you, everyone, and enjoy your Sunday. And for those who watch Power, enjoy your episode.
But, since we're talking about Power, you guys can also watch it earlier so that you can tune in
to our show.
So, So
Good
if you
news.
have on demand, go there and the new episode is up.
Yes.
Watch it in the morning. Watch it in the afternoon. And then come 9 o'clock, you're like, oh, it's 9 o'clock. What time
for
is
the
it?
coffee comment.
So that's the plus. So come
All
back,
right.
tune in next Sunday.
Bye, guys.
Peace.